Amrut, intermediate sherry, 57.1. Yeah, we know it's not Scotch. Let's try it anyway. What is up, guys?
Hey guys, it is Scotch for Dummies.
Four guys on a Scotch journey to help you with your next Scotch purchase, or perhaps whiskey.
Whiskey
Maybe
purchase.
it's not Scotch.
Maybe it's
Is
not.
this Scotch?
Did I land in the wrong channel?
Yeah.
Are you guys at the wrong bar?
World Whiskeys for Dummies.
Doesn't feel like any of that is the case.
Look, dude.
Four guys on a world whiskey
Well,
journey to help
Mark
you
did
with
say
fitness.
it's even spelled correctly.
Yep.
There's no E in that.
All right.
What's the
here's where we're at. It is a single malt whiskey, and since it was sitting on the bar, and we drink everything that's on the bar, we thought we would share our thoughts on Amrut with you guys. This distillery itself has been around for actually a fairly long time. It started out as a distillery that made other people's liquors in India. It started in 1948.
Something, yeah.
So they're producing other people's spirits. Amrut as a distillery dates back to like 87. So it started, trying to increase the quality, trying to make things a little bit better, and then they got the idea to make a single malt whiskey. And instead of doing the easy thing, which would be to open it up and sell it in their country, they decided to debut it in Scotland to earn some credit and to establish some credibility as a higher end producer of actual single malt whiskey. A lot of the producers in India, the rules are a little fast and loose with what you can do and what you can't do, and they were really trying to up their game. They thought that they had the makings for a really quality product coming out of India, and they really wanted to show that off, which is great, and so they came up with a plan to kind of establish some of that credit. So they debut it in Scotland, and then throughout the rest of Europe, into South America, and into America. And it's gotten a lot of acclaim and success. They started all this stuff off, about 20 years ago, and they won a ton of awards. It's a very popular whiskey. They have the distinction because of the climate there. It ages much faster,
Faster.
like a lot faster,
Like at least 3 times faster.
Yeah. So they actually have to be even more careful. I've seen some stuff where they lose like 10% or something to angel share
10 to
a year.
12% per year.
It's
gets so hot.
crazy.
It's hot.
The casks are
drunk
super
angels,
pressurized. Yeah, right. Like maybe they have more angels there.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Could be.
But at any rate, it's going to take some technical skill to pull off a whiskey there, because you've got to constantly be monitoring all that stuff, because there's not as much room for error. If you let it go past a certain point, my guess is that it's not as good a product.
Well, it's over oaked. You get too much tannins in there.
Which is
like that.
kind of crazy because that's what this one starts off in virgin ex-bourbon.
Yep.
Some ex-bourbon, some
Right.
new oak,
Some virgin oak, some ex-bourbon.
and then it all goes into sherry cask
For another
that's
year.
That's the intermediate portion, and then it's back into bourbon
Ex-bourbon.
barrels for finishing.
Right.
A little
right?
flash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a seasoning basically. Everything that I saw from the
Yeah.
company kind of said that they wanted to give us some sherry influence without going crazy with the sherry.
It does say ex oloroso as well. It is specific.
And so I think that their goal was to add some of those nice sherry notes to it without overpowering what the whiskey actually is. So that's
Receipt-
kind of nice.
Receipt in the box said $119.99, so $120 US.
Yeah, I saw anywhere from 110 to 130 for this particular bottle.
I don't think we see too much around here. I got this from Grand Rapids.
No, this one came from Benny's.
Oh, is that from Brandon? Okay.
That's what the receipt said, because you also bought a bottle of that Springbank 9 local for $160.
That's mine.
So this is Biddy's in Chicago.
Yeah, this is Benny's up there in Wheeling.
Gotcha.
There was one thing I was going to ask about this particular, or make a comment.
that's
So
right, I wasn't
we
busy.
have run into their ambassador at several whiskey events, and
We have.
he's always a really nice guy. I can't draw his name off the top of my head, and he's always there representing this. So they've been around, and they're in the U.S. market.
It's Raj Savalwal.
Yep, man.
Well,
good.
they've been in
Cool.
the U.S. since like 2010, I think. Is
Yeah.
what they're roughly.
Yep. So they haven't been around very
All right.
long, and of course, when you get to the U.S., you start with the big markets, just because of the distribution system. It's kind of a pain. So you want to hit where all the majority of the customers are. Yeah, it's got a nice
It's a sherry
dark brown color to it.
I mean, buttered sherry, toffee.
Strong, 57.1. It's definitely got
Strong like
some
bull.
alcohol vapor in there. Strong like bull.
I'd say
That's right.
I get buttered popcorn.
Yeah.
You get that?
Little
Almost
bit.
like caramel corn, because it's got some sweet notes on top of it.
Well, there's a lot of wood in the palate. There's a lot of.
It's going to be
oakiness.
hot. I mean, I can smell the
Yeah,
alcohol.
it is a little hot, but not too bad considering.
Definitely got some
Well, I'm
legs.
almost getting olives in there. Weird. I don't know. That's a sherry mixing with the wood and getting like almost an olive wood.
It's got some serious oak,
Yeah.
Yes, it
like
does.
really oaky.
Well,
But
Wow.
it's not like when I think of like a Chardonnay that's been over oak,
Yeah.
and it's almost off-putting and bitter.
yeah.
Whereas this is more like it's like
gosh, yeah.
walking into a wood shop. You know what I mean?
Like
And
a
you've
wood
got
shavings.
that wood shaving, that fresh oak profile in my mouth.
Especially after the first sip, the now knows it, and you really that fresh oak really comes out.
I do get like a dark chocolate bitter on the very end of the finish.
So I know one of the representatives from Amrut talks about that really most of their whiskey, while it is non-age, is typically between 4 and 5 years, because at 4 years you've lost already half the barrel to angel share, but in 5 years you get so much tannins coming out of that barrel because it's extracting way into the barrel, then pulling way out every winter, and so it's really extracting from the barrel. So they can't be very old. They just,
It just ruined, right?
I find it crazy that this whiskey is barely old enough to be called Scotch in Scotland.
Correct.
And it's almost overdone in India because of the
almost
difference in the
done.
climate.
Yeah.
Like the Scots are like, put it in the back. It's got another 20 years to go.
yeah, it's nowhere near ready.
And the Indians are like, we got to bottle this next week.
Because one more weekend it's done.
This is really good. Wow.
Well, yeah, the angel share in
I
Scotland
got
is only
cotton
like 2%.
candy in there, and there's a sweetness to it. There's
There's definitely some cotton, some sugary
Sweetness.
Refined
It's a
sugar.
rich.
This is going to be great with water. I can just tell right now.
Oh shit! Water's gonna blow this up. It's gonna, yeah.
try one more neat.
I'm surprised at the
Gosh, it's so
level
strong.
and depth of flavor. It's got so many different
much
things
sherry.
going in on it.
One more tip.
Wow. More butter on the nose now.
And I really think that water is going to bring a lot of it out because I can't get to most of it because of the
I
alcohol.
know.
And it's
That's
still
the truth.
ridiculous.
That's the truth. There's a lot more under there. I just can't get to. Literally, that alcohol ABV is just covering it. I know it's there, but I just can't.
As soon as I think it's gonna come out, the alcohol burn
Right.
covers it.
Right.
Like, oh, there it is. No, dang it, the alcohol took it out.
Ooh. Now there's your dark chocolate. The bitter
Yeah.
is intensified now with the water.
Oh,
I
now
like
I'm
it.
getting plums.
I like the dark chocolate
Oh
note.
yeah, dark chocolate on the nose even.
Wow.
So 120, obviously NAS. I mean, they said, a year in sherry. We know that much, and they say in their website and their marketing anywhere from 4 to 5 years they have to bottle. So we know it's somewhere in that neighborhood.
So it's a bit pricey.
But I think that, to compare this to a Scottish single malt, it kind of does it a disservice if you talk about the age because,
It's true.
and I think if I was, in charge of marketing for Amrut, I wouldn't put an age on it either.
No.
Because somebody's going to look at this and say, oh, it's 4 years and 3 months. Like,
Yeah.
how good could
Forget
that be,
that.
right?
Yeah.
Because as Americans, we're all trained to say, okay, well, if it's older, it's better.
That's
but
true.
I think that this is just bottled when it's good.
When it's good.
And they took it out when it was ready to go, and I don't see a whole lot of
No.
problems with
Yeah,
this.
the interesting thing is I was looking up on this distillery, and this distillery puts out about 4 million cases a year, but only 10,000 single malt. 10,000 single malt cases. Most of their stuff is the molasses-based whiskeys for the Indian market.
Well, it's like any other distillery. You got to keep the lights on.
Exactly.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
Well, they're one of like 9 distilleries over there too.
In India?
And it's
Okay.
like one of the bigger ones, I understand.
So I got buttered toffee after I put the water on
Oh
the
my
nose.
gosh. Give it a second. Once it sits, I let mine sit for like a couple minutes.
Like a rare steak.
Now I've got more toffee, like Werther's, creamier now on the nose.
Actually, I can get some of that sherry note where it almost smells like a fresh new sherry.
Is anybody else getting rare steak in there? I guess not.
I wish I was though.
Wow.
That would be the ultimate.
Even more wood finish now than I had before.
It's got to me the oak is kind of rolled in with the sweetness now, and I get some of that.
Very much so.
I get like a tapioca
It's
and
changing.
butterscotch kind of thing going on.
Really interesting. Wow.
the dark chocolate is now balanced with the wood for me. It's kind of unique. Like every sip is just some subtle differences.
Yeah, I'm getting more tapioca now in the mid palate.
All right,
Yeah.
who's got a number?
And that's going to be
I'm
tough.
still struggling because I mean I'm not gonna lie, price is definitely
Well,
gonna be a
okay,
factor.
so if you let's talk about it before we get into our individual reviews. If price is a factor, it's also 57.1%. So this is a cask strength. This is a
Yeah.
high ABV. You
That's-
are getting more
yes,
whiskey for
That's,
your whiskey.
that's
price.
what I was
You're
thinking.
doubling
already.
up your whiskey basically.
This counts
Right.
as an $80 bottle.
So exactly, you've got if you're going to take price into consideration, you got to consider that a little bit too.
Very true.
And
I'm ready. I'll do this.
well, have at it, man. Have at it.
All right, here we go. It is not a Scotch, but it is a single malt, and I thoroughly enjoy this glass. It has some characteristics in common with Scotch, but it also has some unique things that I think is a testament to the climate that it was made in, and I think a lot of that is that oak flavor profile, because I don't think that you could get a replica of that in Scotch because
No
of
way.
the way that the climate affects this whiskey in the aging process. I think it just sucks all of that oak flavor out of those barrels, which is awesome. The sherry influence is there, but it's not overdone. The whiskey itself has really nice flavor profile. There's all kinds of stuff going on. I like the fact that they bottled it at a high ABV. I think 57.1, that's a big whiskey. And, honestly, I think for $1.20, that's kind of a steal, really. I'm not complaining about the price at all. I think that's appropriate. Well balanced. It handled water very well, obviously.
Yeah, sure
on the
did.
nose, on the palate, everything was good. The water brought out nuances that I didn't get neat, but I enjoyed them both. I can't really find anything that I don't enjoy about this glass. I wish that I had more time to spend with it because I think it deserves a little bit longer examination. And it's missing just a slight amount of depth of character that I think would take it up higher. But all around, it's a great whiskey. I'm going to give it a 3.5. I really enjoy this glass. And I'm anxious to try some more things from the distillery.
All right, I'm with you. I'm really enjoying this. To me, this is a very pleasant surprise. It's coming out of left field and saying, you know what, this is something I want to give some more attention to. Yes, it needs more time. At 57.1, it can do that. It's going to need more time to open up. I definitely appreciate the fact that all of this sweetness I'm getting, whether it's this cotton candy or buttered toffee, that's all coming from the oak. Okay, the vanillas, but it's not overpowering to the point where I'm like, geez, man, I feel like I'm chewing on a stave. It's really pleasant. There's some sherry notes in there. I wish there were a little bit more. Man, if they up that sherry note, another 15-20% and balanced it out 50-50, where less, I think this is pushing me over the top. Right now, I'm a solid 3+. I'm knocking on the door 3.5, trying to figure out. I think it handled water. You said what it did and how it reacts just fine. I'm interested in them. I want to know more about them, right? Yes, it's not Scotch, but it's damn good whiskey. And this is something you can pour and sit down and read a book. So it's going to take you 45 minutes, an hour to get through one of these. And
Yep.
you are getting more for your bang. So I'm not judging it on its lack of age because of the environment. It's a different, let's be fair to it, and its price point with the ABV. I think it's a strong, solid 3+.
I would say
So what's your number?
3.
3+. He doesn't.
He wants
Put a
to
little
say
extra there, but
he wants
Three-
to say 3.25, but he can't.
But you won't let me.
He wants an asterisk. by
3,
his
5, and a 3.
Yeah.
Your turn.
All right, so this is a great whiskey. Got to
Setting them up.
Keep the management up. Great whiskey. I just hit it heavily with water to see where it went when you added all that water. Now it becomes a nice malty whiskey. It kind of takes down some of the sherry and some of the wood, but it becomes really malty and still flavorful, even at a fairly low ABV. So this has good things. I'm giving it a 3.5 because it has
What?
great flavor throughout the entire palate range. It is not my wheel. It is my wheelhouse because it's a sherry bomb. I really think this is a sherry bomb that has a lot of that richness that I like in a whiskey. Can handle the water. Even at 57, it's not over hot. You do miss some of the good flavors if you drink it neat, but it's still good neat. It's still really good neat. So 3.5 for me all the way.
I'm impressed with you.
We're
Nice.
so proud of Andrew.
He's come a long way. I may have to change your shirt.
That's code for Mark going, I'm going to lose my status.
I am. I'm gonna come out of the gate and say either a 3.5 or a 4. I'm gonna tell myself
I would
either
agree.
up or down. Here's
that close.
to coin your phrase. This is absolutely in my wheelhouse right now. I've always have been. I'm back on that train again. The sherry cat. I love everything about sherry, and this is good. It's complex. It changes. We talked about the butterscotch, the toffee, the different maltiness, the bitter chocolate, the things that change with
The rare
water,
steak.
the rare steak that Andrew got. But I have no idea. But it's really good, and it's even sitting here after you guys have talked, I'm still enjoying it, and then the finish has evolved a little bit more for me, and I think that's truly what is one of the things that we all look for in Scotch is something that you can have a glass, and you have multiple choices with it, multiple decisions, multiple different tastes and palates, and whatever you want to call it, it evolves, and that's a really cool thing to have. Now, for $120, yeah, it's a little pricey, but I think it's damn worth it.
It's worth it.
I think it's damn worth it. So what am I gonna do?
I don't know.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
We're waiting.
Is there anything you can knock it for?
The ABV's high. I'm gonna go 4. I have to go 4.
Yep.
I know. I'm a new Scotch holder.
Can you take his shirt?
I know.
That shirt.
Call me out. That's fine. So where we at, guys?
I mean,
So 3.53, 3.54.
3.5.
That's a 3.5 every day.
This is
You got to buy
very
this bottle.
interesting. Very interesting.
If you like sherried whiskeys, you got to buy this.
I'll be
bottle.
honest with you. I just watered the holy hell out of it while you were talking just to see what would
Just see
happen.
what happens, man.
And you know what happened? It brought out that Oloroso. I mean, if you know the
What?
difference between PX and Oloroso, you we spent enough time, guys. You can tell that I'm sitting there going, it's that Oloroso note that I love so much. I mean, that's really cool. Now I haven't tasted it, but that's just the nose.
You know it's good
Good
when
stuff.
you go pour a second glass before the review's over with.
Yep.
Guys, awesome job. This is really cool. You should definitely buy a bottle. If you like this, please hit the like button for us. It goes a
Roger
long
that.
way.
Yeah.
And we
subscribe.
Can hit the subscribe.
I mean, 67% of the people that watch this video aren't subscribed. Just
Subscribe.
subscribe.
Why not? You need to get involved in the conversation. Leave a comment.
And if you want to get in on conversation, Discord and Patreon is where
And
you go.
live on Thursday.
Yeah. Check the live shows out on Thursday.
We're busy.
Become a patron and get on our Discord server. There's way too much
We got a
shit
whole
going
community
on
out there to help you with some of your decisions, some questions, whatever you want. It's all on Discord. We're here every Thursday night, guys.
Guys.
3.5.
Guys.
Wow, man.
Cheers to that.
It's a long time.
Roger that.
Cheers.